So this past weekend was the first time that I had seen my sister in a number of months. Obviously, from my previous vlogs, you guys know that we're not very close and that she has very similar tendencies as my mom does. But actually, this time was really, really weird, like awkward weird, because, you know, she had invited me to go up the street to the library with her. She didn't tell me that a friend of hers was gonna be there as well. It was like, I guess, meant as a surprise to us. So I showed up there with my kiddos, and I was under the impression it was just this like 10-minute magic show, and we're gonna come back home and be groovy and whatever else. Turns out that after the magic show, we basically um, ended up going to the actual library. We had story time. After story time, the kids got to pick and choose one movie and like two or three books that they wanted to read throughout the week. And the reason for the 2 to 3 books is because of the fact that we homeschool. So part of Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada's curriculum is reading, mathematics, and English. Honestly, as an adult who's 34, I can tell everybody by now the only true subjects that you really utilize for the rest of your life is English and mathematics. You can't really, I mean, unless you're in a laboratory and you have access to, materials for sciences and biology, etc. That's the only time you really implement science. But I mean, besides that, it was a pretty insane time. Like, she was like unusually calm and just it didn't feel like her, I think, is what I'm really trying to get at. And number two, we had the story time, and then, like I said previously, they got to go pick and choose their things. And then after that, we went out to the cars. We spent like another half an hour because she had brought my kids some toys and some other things. And so we put them in my car. We did the swap, as people would like to say. And then after that, that's when she took off and I took off. And then I got kind of scared because she happened to go in the direction where there's this really small street. And that street specifically is known for vehicle accidents. And I was just bloody horrified. I was like, oh, crap. And then she drives a Tesla, you guys. Of all the cars to drive, she's driving a Tesla. And so I'm like, shit, if somebody hits her, it's not gonna, it's gonna be bad. And so basically at the end of everything, I called her just to make sure that my nephew and her were okay, to make sure they could pull off that turn and that there were no collisions, etc. And then my kids were really, really sad, actually, when they just saw her driving away. They were just like, oh, Tia, don't go. And it was just so heartbreaking, you guys. Again, that just goes to show you how my narcissistic mom has had a mal effect on my sister and me. Because honestly, I'm not close to my sister. I'm close to my biological brother, which I haven't also seen my biological brother in a number of months. And it's been rough. It's been really rough. They are really hardcore believers in the scamdemic. I mean, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. It's just really, really hard. And just to see everything that they're going through behind the door, behind the scenes, it's just really heartbreaking because I've studied natural holistic medicine for 8.5 years. I was offered a position in a natural holistic clinic. I declined because I refused to work for anybody. I refuse to sign any kind of contracts. I will support the unfortunate and less fortunate, period. Less fortunate and unfortunate. I don't know if that makes sense, but you guys get what I'm saying. Basically, all of my expertise will be for the working class, the struggling class, etc. I am always disposable to help you guys feel better. I'm always here. I can always jump up on my medical apps I have a dictionary of diseases and things and ways to treat it. So, I mean, really, if it really came down to it, I could probably help you guys. But again, I will not work for any clinics. I will not sign any contracts saying that I have to lie to the public. I will not do that. As an activist and a dedicated mom of four, it's my obligation to make sure that your health is in its best, state. And not only that, but also, I will work for the struggling and the poor. Period. I feel like a lot of these doctors in white coats who sign these contracts to lie to us, they often want the money. And the only true real investment, the reason why they go to college for 8.5+ years is for exactly that. So they can have the title, the degree behind their name, to some extent the knowledge, as well as the money. And I'm just like, it's such an immediate, for anybody with a good heart, it's an immediate turnoff. Like I said, I was offered a position in a natural holistic clinic and I declined. Because I don't want anybody managing me. I don't want people overseeing me. I am my own independent ND. For those of you who don't know what an ND is, an MD is a medical doctor. An N, like as in nice, ND is a natural doctor. We are two very different worlds, I'll tell you that, because the modern doctor believes in popping pills, giving out that script, and that's your cure for all. And I am here to say that that is the wrong way to go about it. When you pop those pills, if you get those vaccines, it's going to keep you sick and returning constantly to that clinic. With that being said, now you're probably asking, how the hell does this pertain to me? Well, because I had shared my knowledge with my siblings and my mom, and I don't know what the hell popped in my brother's head to make him think that he could change his major in 4 months and suddenly he will know it all. It doesn't work like that. Number one, a medical doctor is not given an education about vaccines. That's a fact. Nobody can refute that or fight about it. They are not given education on vaccines. The only thing that medical doctors are given an education on are diseases and possible treatments. That's another fact. Which is why I thought it was hilarious that he changed his major to health sciences towards the end of his doctorate program. So I'm like, you still don't really know anything, dude. You might have some wisdom when it comes to sociology and psychology, but truth be told, when it comes to vaccines and virology and all that stuff, you don't. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, they are there to keep you sick and returning. That's the only purpose. This is why they push it so imminently. And apart from them pushing it and trying to keep you sick and returning, apart from that, the nurses and doctors get $10,000 extra per jab that you get into your kid or yourself. So just think about that before you feel tempted to go get shots again. Before you try to push your child or significant other or loved one into this. Think about that. I am a member of the Childhood Health Defense. Childhood Health Defense. We strictly are a group that is dedicated to opening your eyes about the truth, the things that have been covered up, things that we've been literally lied to about, and more. I'm also a part of Vaxxed and the greatergood.org. But I don't go on the tours. I am trying to implement it here in Nevada, Las Vegas, which is really, really hard to do because there's a lot of extremists in this city alone. So it's really, really, really kind of challenging to do that. So if you guys see eye to eye with me, if you are into natural medicine, if you want to, start treating yourself instead of letting these clinics and physicians keep you ill and returning, hit me up, dude. I'm always willing to work with people. I'm always willing to open eyes, and I'm always eager to help others. But again, I will say it. I was offered a position in a natural holistic clinic, but I declined because I don't want bosses. I don't want people telling me what to do. I want to just be able to be free of all of that so I can naturally treat whoever the heck needs it and can feel better. But I'm going to tell you right now, with everything going on, you guys have to boost your immune system. Drink orange juice. Go get those little shots that I think I've seen them at Food for Less and at Smith's even. They're like little shots, and it will boost your immune system. It will keep, if somebody in your house is sick, it will literally and straight up keep you from contracting whatever it is, because your immune system is strong, right? And so, with that being said, sorry, hold on, scratching my head. With that being said, guys, please know they are not on our side. You're like, what does that mean? They're not on our side, meaning we are going to have to take care of each other. We are, instead of beating the shit out of each other, instead of stealing each other's supplies, instead of doing each other salty and wrong, we need to work together, because you got to understand, they want us to kill each other off. They want us to create the next civil war. We can't let that happen. We need to rewrite history and be stronger than ever. For those of us who have resources, for those of us who are trained in certain areas and are able to help, we absolutely need to put it out there. Okay? We cannot afford to kill each other off. We cannot afford to let racism get in the way. We can't let hate be a factor anymore, guys. I know that a lot of you out there, you're stuck in your ways. That's on you, dude. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to fucking survive what's coming, you're going to have to put your racism, fascism, hatred away and work as a team. It is the only way our civilization will stand a chance. But I'm going to go back to the main topic here. So when I saw my sister, her behavior just really wasn't her, dude. It was not her. Number one, and then at the end of everything, she gave my kids money, and I didn't even ask her to do that. Which I know a lot of you will be like, oh, well, it's just a kind gesture and what have you. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But, I mean, coming from her when she's never given a shit about anybody, it's kind of shocking. Number one. Number two, and it makes you really think, what the fuck is she really up to? Truth. But anyways, to sum up this video, guys, I think the whole, that day that I went with her this past weekend was really awkward because, number one, she didn't tell me she was bringing her friend, her husband, and their kids. And number two, my sister just was not behaving like herself. Like, she was way nicer than normal. And I'm like, why are you being suddenly so nice when you've always been messed up to me? Like, it just don't make sense. But we ended up renting, a couple movies, couple of books, things like that. And then we came home and called it a day because over here was like 117 degrees. And the gas is running out in Las Vegas, guys. So things are getting tougher for sure. So if you got a large car or truck, I recommend you get your car on a full tank and go get those little plastic containers and fill it up with some more gas. And if you're able to, store it in your house or backyard, whatever you got to do, just make sure you're ready for whatever, especially if you got children or a spouse. And with that being said, guys, I think that's gonna conclude my video. I just wanted to jump on here and share how I think that was really awkward, just the way it played out. Number one. Number two, like I said, I as an activist and mom of four, I am only here to help the working class, the struggling class, and the poor and the homeless. I will never, ever, ever sign any contract saying that I have to lie. And I will never work for any medical clinic. Ever. Because the best doctors don't have to have a damn white jacket or a damn clinic. They do what they do because they love humanity, and they see the glowing radiancy in it. But I believe the men and women in white coats may be an enemy in the public eye very soon. Just saying. Anyways, love you. Bye.